Hi, everybody. I've been having a hell of a time trying to capture in words what I want to share with you today. And so I'm going to speak it. I'm going to speak it and do a little bit of reading what I've written because it feels just more natural to me to be in conversation with you. And those of you who have been in class with me know that. I love to yap. But I'm here for several reasons, but the first is a teacher of mine who I never met, who didn't know my name, who I sent one DM to on Instagram, and who I've listened to the most in the last 2 hours, passed away last night in Ireland. His name was Manchán Magan. Such a beautiful name, Manchán Magan. And he was an Irishman. He was a documentary maker and a writer. He's written several books, including a book called 32 Words for Field, Lost Words of the Irish Landscape. And so much about this man feels relevant to me right now. There's the essential activation of the reminder of what all of this is for. What is the whole holy point, to borrow the words of my teacher, Rachel Maddox? The whole holy point of everything that I endeavor to do here with you and in my life is to activate the remembrance in women's bodies of our innate wisdom and power to generate a healing, transformational force, to live our lives from that known source of power inside. And this upcoming course that I'm leading called Mother Fire is, 6 weeks. It's a drop in the bucket, but it is not insignificant in that any amount of dedication to an organization around this fire inside matters. And it is my hope that these offerings of Mother Fire provide just that. It's like the very natural rhythm of coming in and going out, tending to the fire, and then doing the work that we have to do, studying a subject, and then letting it live and breathe in the world. But there are some things, some specific words from Manchán that I want to share with you that feel inspiring to me and like they express more than I can on my own. This is why we have teachers, right? This is why we gather together. This is why we put our work in the world, because we get to continue tending the fire together with our creativity and our offerings. That's the whole point. So, Manchán's work is about the language being sort of an embodiment of the ancestors. And I really believe women's bodies and what happens when we gather together is a way of activating the presence of the ancestors, is a way of activating our own capacity to remember what needs to happen now. And there's this activation in a woman's body when she births that I believe connects her to a whole nother layer of ancestors. It doesn't matter where you're from or what language you grew up speaking or how far you are from your ancestors' native lands. That delineation of who we are related to is transcended by the ancestry of birth. Remembering birth, remembering the wisdom of birth, remembering what it's like to witness and to hold space and to assist women to be assisted across that threshold, to be witnessed in that incredible rite of passage. And I think, frankly, a lot of our overwhelm and exhaustion in motherhood is the absence of that witnessing, the absence of that web, but it's not absent. But it is a memory that we have to activate, and we have to activate it again and again because it is so deeply buried in our embodied memory. Mankan speaks about the way that the language, ancient languages have their own body, right? And Irish is essentially the same today. What's taught in Ireland, what kids can learn in school, what you or I could learn if we wanted to, is the same language that was spoken in 800 AD. It's thousands of years old, and longer than that. I misspoke. It's like 4,500 years old. And he talks about the language having studied the world around it. So the language is a source of wisdom. And again, this language that mothers provide one another when they are embodied, the language and the wisdom that emerges from our connection to sensation, to our pelvis. This language has been studying the world around it, the experience of our bodies being managed. We get to come together to refine it and rework it so that we can express ourselves differently in the world. When mothers gather, we're leaning into a language that reminds us in the present of our innate and ancient wisdom and sacredness. And finally, I just wanted to borrow this. There's an interview that I'll link for you. Mankan was interviewed by this lovely woman about his book, 32 Words for Field. It's difficult to say that. 32 Words for Field. And she talks about how he shows language as having incredible precision and also this much more fluid, evolving, psychic, spiritual quality. So there's specificity, and there's also room for the other, the pole of that concrete. And that is what I love so much about the work of somatic experiencing and why it is the central technique and tool, because it will anchor you in the very real, undeniable fact of your body in this place and time. My bones are here. And as I access that specificity, the boundedness, it expands my awareness of who I am almost exponentially. When I connect my feet to the fact of the ground, there is a loosening of the boundedness that I feel in my body. So the body is a language that we're remembering. It's a language that we're studying. It's a language that holds wisdom and memory. And in order to harness that power and tend it like a fire must be tended, what makes a fire powerful is structure, is containment. What makes a fire dangerous is no structure, no containment, being left to its own devices. So Mother Fire is quite literally the structure to support you in stoking this fire inside, this memory, this wisdom, through the presence of other women, right? We become sparks for one another in a container so that it's generative and not distracting, overwhelming, out of control, fizzles out. You have one more day. I'm going to extend to tomorrow, which is Saturday, the Bring a Friend option. I want you here. If there's a woman that you want to share this experience or this work with, invite her. And it's a little complicated, I admit. I'm figuring out the back end stuff, but If you pay the early bird price, which is $400, I'll give you a special code for your friend to pay $200. And then y'all can split the difference. And it's $300 for each of you for this 6-week course. It's a banger of a deal. You get to choose the buddy. I might know her, I might not. Because we are, so many of us who gather in these circles regularly are spread out. How lovely it would be if there's a woman local to you, and then you can get together to do the classes, or at the very least meet and have your bodies together as you discuss what you learn and discover. So I'm going to extend that for one more day. We start on October 15th. You can pay over 4 months, so $100 a month for 4 months. It goes up a little bit after early bird ends. It's $125 a month for 4 months. I cannot wait to be with you around this fire, to actively remember what it is the motherhood is all about, what it is, the sacred fire that makes a woman a mother, the refinement process that is. And I'm just going to leave you with a little practice, because I feel a lot of energy moving in my body, and maybe you're doing other things while you're listening to this, which is fine. But I just love to offer you a couple of minutes to ground again and find that anchor inside of yourself, your body, your pelvis. So wherever you are, I just ask that you find some relative stillness. And if you are driving, you can do this later. Allow yourself to sit back so you can feel your pelvis a bit more symmetrically weighted. And then interlace your hands behind your head. My arms are so sore this morning from my workout. I guess that's a good sign. Lean your head back in your hands. So I'm going to clasp my hands like around the back of my neck. Oh, almost like a little hammock there. Relax your shoulders, your elbows. And then allow your eyelids to close. And feel your eyes getting heavy in the sockets. And allow yourself to notice the impact of simply giving weight to your eyes and drawing your attention in by restricting the visual. It doesn't need to feel calm yet, but just notice the difference. And then, as though your thoughts were like little iron filings or iron shavings being drawn back to the back of your head. Imagine the back of your head was a magnet. See or sense all these many thoughts just flying back to the back of your head, and then slowly down the back of your body, down your spine, into your sacrum, that triangle bone at the back of your pelvis. Allow your head to stay heavy for your hands to support your neck. Notice when you sense a shift, whether a weightedness in your body that wasn't there before, or a deep spontaneous breath. Maybe your belly unclenched. You didn't even realize it was clenched before. And see or sense your sacrum as an anchor to the middle of the earth. And if you like, you can allow those iron filings, all those many thoughts, all those various directions you're drawn in, to shoot down to the center of the earth. That molten core, just drawing it all down, down, down. can release your hands if that feels good to you, if you're ready for a shift in your body. If you have the luxury of time in this moment, you can wait. Just allow those iron filings to continue going down, down, and feel for the spontaneous impulse to move, which is different than the anxious impulse to move. If you do not have the luxury of time today, maybe you've already found that spontaneous urge to move. See if you can sense the spine restacking itself, reorganizing over this anchored sacrum, anchored to the center of the earth. Notice the difference in your sight as you blink your eyes open slowly. Notice the difference now in what you're able to see, what you notice, and how it feels. Thanks for spending some time with me. This was definitely longer than it would have taken you to read, but I hope richer and deeper. You can expect more from me like this on Fridays. And if you have any questions about Mother Fire, please reach out, add it to the comments, find me on Instagram, send me an email.